have a very special guest for you tonight.
Hello, we've been expecting you.
This is not a test. Your government and corporate overlords have implemented new measures for your own health and safety. We are just following orders.
Everything is going to be fine.
I'd like to introduce...
Welcome everyone to another If by Whiskey. Jake, what is going on, my friend?
Nothing, man. Every time we play the intro, like it just sets the vibe. I just want to go listen to like saxophone music now.
I'm so chill, man. It's like this is so good. I'm ready to pour a drink, have a little bonfire going on, or just a little something in the background, a little fire mantle play, something like that. We do have. Oh, go ahead, man.
No, I say I should have done that. I should have poured myself a drink, but I didn't yet.
I should have as well, but I've got a special drink that we're going to bring up in a second if we get our special guests up here. So, welcome everyone. We do have a special guest we are expecting. So hopefully that gentleman will be joining us soon. But I don't know. I kind of want to wait to share this thing because I got this. Okay, so this is what happened. I'll set it up. So I got this email. Like there have been like millions of emails out there lately, and they've been flying by. And it must be some fad new diet or something because I'm seeing a lot of food products in all these emails that people keep saying, right? So this morning, I decided to get myself a pepperoni pizza for dinner because like there's this huge thing, something about pepperoni pizza, and it Totino's, by the way. We need sponsorship, and then something about grape soda. So I got some grape soda, a little Grape Bet. I don't know if Grape Bet's gonna sponsor us at all.
I think that is the new diet. The South Beach diet's over. It's all about pizza.
Right.
And grape
That's
soda
what I'm thinking. It's some fad new diet that came up. Right. So the problem is I'm diabetic and they have Crush Orange zero sugar, but I've not found Crush Grape zero sugar yet. I'm gonna go with the sugar Grape Bet. I think the grape soda will knock out the sugars. I think they'll balance each other out. But then lastly, though, I think the kicker, the sealer, was this beef jerky that I got here. I got this Old Trapper beef jerky, and I went to Walmart specifically just to get this. I got some ice cream in the freezer for later. I got a hot dog downstairs that's ready to go. I'm ready for this new diet that I've seen coming up. Have you heard about this new thing? It's pretty cool.
I have heard about it. Did you make sure you take your jerky to the lab, though, to get tested?
It's like, what the heck is going on with all that stuff, man?
I don't know. And it's funny because like you would think that if they're so blatant to email about this stuff, you would think that like the coding would be kind of easy to figure out. But the more you read it, the more it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And it's so funny because like this is what I'm thinking. Do you know how all the people use grape instead of the other word to escape the YouTube algorithm?
Yeah.
Is it not literally like the easiest thing just to say that that's what grape means? Like, hello.
It's very likely.
But anyway, just a thought. So
when you say crush grape,
special guest
it makes me think a little bit.
So I'm like ready. I've got my whole all my dietary needs taken care of for at least the next 100,000 years while I don't age, apparently, if I can make this happen.
Well, I think
I unalive myself.
You're missing the adrenochrome. As soon as you get that,
I'm wondering what part of I wonder if it's the mixture that makes it the adrenochrome, or do you have to add the sulfuric acid at the end? I'm not sure which way.
I don't know which one it is.
I wonder if the grape soda neutralizes the sulfuric acid just in case you get it on you. Be like the weird, it's like one of those old wives' tales, like, oh, just put a little grape soda on. It'll take that sulfuric acid right out.
So what's new? What's going on with you other than your new diet?
Not much. Well, I will share my weekend. I will, because I shared it with you. I'm very excited. So last December, first of all, Remzo Martinez is going to Freedom Fest, and he's part of this group called Marketer on the Run. I've done some work with him. Really great guy. He asked my girlfriend and I to join him for his Christmas party in December last year. So we were going to drive up to Vegas for a night, go, and then, hey, what's going on? Here. We got Jason in the house. So let me just see if we got this email from anybody. I have not gotten an email back from our said guest yet. So we were going to go, but we just got a new dog. just adopted a new dog. So my girlfriend's like, I can't go with you. And I'm like, gosh darn it. The whole point was like for us to go and just have a night and blah, blah, blah. So I went by myself, drove up to Vegas, did the night thing, drove back. Well, my girlfriend loves RuPaul's Drag Race. Just so you know. I do not, but I'm not an anti-drag. I'm for freedom of expression.
Sure.
So I'm walking down by Flamingo and
I won't turn down a good show, right?
Yeah, exactly. So she's got a residency, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to make it up to my girlfriend. I mean, she's just so kind and just offering to like take care of the dog. So it's like, it's not make it up. It's that we have a beautiful, healthy relationship that we care about each other. And we like, you know, like we do things for each other. That's how your relationship is. You told me about how awesome yours is.
Yeah.
So I walk by, I'm like, this is what we'll do. Valentine's Day, RuPaul Drag Race, let's go. So we booked the whole weekend. We ate like kings and queens, spent probably 2 paychecks of my entire thing because I'm broke as shit, but it was a great time. It was Vegas. It was fun. So that was my Valentine's Day. I heard that you don't necessarily celebrate it, but you kind of have this transition where you always do stuff.
Yeah, my wife and I do stuff for each other kind of year round. And there's a lot of people that say that as an excuse, like, oh, I do stuff out of, randomly, but we genuinely do. Like most of the time, if one of us sees something the other person likes, we just get it. There's plenty of inside, jokes and things that go all year round. Like there's no having to sit and plan a romance thing is just kind of, I don't know, it feels disingenuous to us. And our wedding anniversary coming up on 7 years is March 3rd. So like right after Valentine's anyway. But what I'm wondering is if you went to go to RuPaul's Drag Race, did you do it like you do like when kids go to see Taylor Swift where they dress up like Taylor did? Like, did you go full drag just to go to the show and watch?
You know what? If they would have asked me to do drag, I would have done it for my girlfriend. I would have had fun with it. I would have
tuck it under your sundress.
They did not, though. They did have audience participation, but it seemed a little staged. It was a little weirdly staged. But you know what, man? It was fun. Everybody who was there, except me, wanted to be there. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I totally had a great time. Like I said, living vicariously through my girlfriend's excitement was like 99% of the entire show. But seriously, it's worth going. If you have time, you could go during Freedom Fest or whoever, but that's another one.
And the dog survived?
The dog did make it. Yeah. Dog stay with our uncle, and it was great, or her uncle. So here's another one, by the way. Freedom Fest, July 8th through the 12th. Guess who's in town in Vegas? It's a comedian from England. Take a guess who's in town.
Gervais?
No, but it's like second. Jimmy Carr.
No way.
Yeah, dude. So Jimmy Carr is going. I already got tickets for July 10th at Wynn at night. Okay. Check this out. My girlfriend and I are going, but I emailed him and I'm asking him to join us at Freedom Fest because he's known for tax avoidance, which is like totally our group. And he's going to be there the 10th and the 11th, dude. Imagine Jimmy Carr walking around just shooting the shit with people. How fucking cool would that be? So I'm doing everything I can. I reached out to Haley Skousen and Matt Day of Freedom Fest and said, yeah, hey, Jason, if you can make us do that, if you can do a little scientific, little artsy fartsy thing with that, that would be great. But yeah, so how cool would that be if Jimmy Carr could show up?
He's the only person who has a better laugh than Tucker Carlson is Jimmy Carr.
He's my favorite. There's this. Have you ever seen the show 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown?
No.
Okay, so it's no longer a show, but back in the day, it was kind of like
name like that. I wonder why.
Right, but it used to be called Countdown. Okay,
that makes
it used to have like 30 seconds. It makes sense. They had this thing called letters and numbers. Okay, so basically what they do is they draw random letters and you have to make the longest word that you can out of it. And then they take numbers and you have to take the combination of numbers to either add, subtract, divide, use all of them to come up with the closest to a number that's randomly selected. Okay.
All right.
So it's like a Brainiac kind of thing. Well, Jimmy Carr took it over and he made a comedy version. So they have like comedians doing like intelligent things and they're stupid, but they're funny. You know what I mean? They're fun. Like Alan Carr and all these guys are on there. So anyway, so Jimmy Carr was like the host of this show. And what he did, have you ever heard about his tax avoidance? How he got Yeah. So basically he used his income. He called it something else. So he got away with it. It's like the coolest thing, man. Anyway, so if we could get Jimmy Carr, that would be so cool. I'd
See if we can just grab him and throw him on the panel at our Freedom Fest show.
Well, I know, seriously. I
was just gonna say, it's like we're waiting for our guests to come. Last time Rechtenwald showed up like halfway in the middle of the episode. I feel like when you're like on a date and you're getting stood up and you're sitting there, like the waiter comes by, he's like, "Do you want to just order something?" You're like, "No, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a little longer." So I'm just gonna go ahead and order some appetizers here. I got something to show.
That's what I want. I want to bring up the Epstein stuff because we might as well. We started with Epstein, right? I mean, look, I've got a full 2 liter of grape soda over here. I got my bag of beef jerky and got some pepperoni pizza I haven't finished yet. So let's get to it, man.
Well, I'm telling you, I was watching. I was trying to kind of get caught up on the happenings this week. A few things happened like the last couple days, but to get the appetizer ordered and send it back to the kitchen, I got to show you this. I went through and watched the 24 minutes of Kash Patel on the Dan Bongino show. And I'm telling you, you will not be let down. You will not.
Oh, it's worth watching.
Oh, it's worth. I have a few clips to show you, but we'll just go through one at a time. Because this is
the thing is, I don't want to give him credit, so I got to watch it like off. I have to find a way to rip it without watching it. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to give that douchebag. But it's worth watching.
Yeah, I don't. His ratings are going to tank soon enough, anyways. But you got to see. I got a couple of these for you. So tell me what you think of this.
All right.
Tell me if this is not the most bro down, like we're so awesome moment. Okay.
How many pop collars are they wearing?
Today, my good friend and current FBI director, he's got a lot going on, so I appreciate his time. Director Kash Patel. Kash, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Dan, we miss you, and congratulations on the relaunch of your epic show. America needs it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, buddy. It was great to work there. I was really proud.
Who is Kash looking at?
In the past year, and spoke to the president about it. He was our first guest. I'm happy to have you on. Let's get right to it. There was another episode up north of trans violence. You know, when you and I were over there at the FBI, they had not specifically produced a good, deep analytical product on what is in this outbreak of trans violence we've seen, whether it's in Minnesota or Nashville. But as you know, over there's a limited number of FBI assets. There's about 38,000 employees. You got to triage your threats. This is a real threat. We've seen it over and over again. And it's important that we produce a product to see what's going on here and analyze the core of this problem.
Well, look, you hit one of the things that we reformed immediately in our first year, Dan.
Dan.
All right.
Laces out, Dan.
All right. So not only is it like, hey, look at all this awesome shit we did. We're so good. We put all this stuff in place. Then it's the like, hey, the FBI only has so many agents. There's nothing we could do. We're doing the best with what we got. And then he's like, you know what? You hit it right on the head, Dan. But this was such a like, just the whole time.
You hit it right on the head, Dan. I cannot believe that I am even sitting here talking with you at this time.
It was
fucking ridiculous.
What did you think of that?
What did you do? You assess the threat of trans shit has been going on for 5 fucking years. Where have you been? While SSRIs are fucking numbing children and they're murdering other children. Where the fuck have you been? Yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
Watch this.
Good job, guys. Good job. Oh, see, it's not like we're setting up the trans thing because it's still connected to Charlie, right? You notice how this is how they manufacture cassette. See, this is where we look behind the veil. This is where Brent and I do these things. You do this. We know exactly what the first thing that comes out of their mouth is trans. Why? They're going to go to Charlie. They're going to talk about Charlie or something next and how Turning Point USA is. I already know before even watching this. I know where this is going to go.
They did. I didn't clip it, but they did. We went on about
they did, right?
About how he's such a good friend of Charlie. Like you hit it right on the head.
It's so crazy though. It's like I'm able to tell them what they're going to say. So if I'm able to do that, and I've never heard them talk ever, what does that tell you about the script, man? It's all the same. It's all theater. It's all theater.
100%. Okay, I got more.
All right, man, bring it. I'm ready.
That led to, under your leadership over there, with President Trump at the top and the AG's support, a historic drop in violent crime, not just the lowest levels we've seen in modern American history, but historic percentage drops too. It's really simple. You go and get bad guys off the street. I mean, you and I both agreed on this. Listen, I think you and I did a pretty good job. It really isn't hard when you focus them on the bad guys.
I think we did a good job. I mean, we did a good job, right? We were awesome, aren't we?
How can he hold the microphone break with a broken arm from patting himself so hard on the back? What the fuck is up with this guy's? What did you fucking do, Dan? Quit? What did you do? Quit after not even a year? That's fucking bold.
You're a quitter.
You're a fucking quitter, dude. Fucking bitch. I'm sorry. Like, this is sick, dude. These people fucking disgust me.
Well, good, because I have even more.
Good. Bring it, because I'm getting worked up.
This is 1 year in the making of true historic reductions in crime. And you're talking about a 20% reduction in murder rate. You're talking about a 32% increase in fentanyl seizures, enough to kill 150 million Americans. Dan, you're talking about 4 top 10 arrests in 1 year, but as soon as you left, I had to add 2 more. So now we're up to 6. I couldn't let it stand at 4. So in 1 calendar year, we arrested 6 of the FBI's most wanted fugitives in the world.
You know what I'm talking about. I was busting my ass on that one, but I was like, so, but hey, good job. Once I saw it on the news, I was proud of you and the guys.
No, you laid it, and you gotta let it know those 6 go to you. You laid the groundwork for it. You work quietly behind the scenes.
No,
this is the gayest shit I've ever seen.
Stop.
This is literally the gayest shit I've ever seen.
Dude, don't say I didn't tell you.
Dude, hand check. Can we get a hand check from these 2 guys stroking each other off? Can we fucking get a hand check, please?
It is just beyond. It's like, first of all, with the leadership of Trump and the support of the AG, it's like the biggest rah-rah propaganda interview that I've seen in a while. And like, they're both straight-faced. And then it's like, we caught them all because of you. Well, no, I was gone because I'm a quitter. No. You still get the credit. It's for you, buddy. Like, what are we doing?
But the Dow is up. The Dow's at 50,000. And we got 6 of the most wanted.
It's at $50,000, she says.
Dude, how gay? How absolutely gay, Dan. Like, sir, what the fuck was that? I'd rather him be like, "Oh, schmoochy poochie Alexa, you're so beautiful" on a podcast than him talking about how gorgeous Dan looks.
You ready to bring it home? Here's the grand finale right here.
All right, dude. But Jason with mission accomplished. I love it.
In the media, it's amazing to watch an 18-year-old journalist with no experience in any of this stuff critique a lot of what the president's doing without any of the background to see why he's doing it. They're fair to do it, freedom of speech, but when you see it from the other side, it makes a lot more sense what he's talking about.
And Dan, you know why it's called the President's Daily Briefing? Because the president decides what are the intel priorities in that briefing. And President Trump has decided what intel priorities agencies like the FBI and CIA are to act upon. That type of leadership is what has led to the historic reduction in crime. That type of leadership is what led to us capturing 6 of the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives. That type of leadership got us the Abbey Gate bomber and the Benghazi bomber on top of the 6. That type of leadership, Dan, you know this, enabled us to do the Maduro operation, which the FBI played a role in, and all these other operations, most of which we can't talk about, but that type of leadership led to a 35% increase in espionage actors by this FBI alone.
Come on, man. Come on. That kind of leadership
buries the Epstein files and protects pedophiles. That kind of leadership is exactly the focus that is getting us deflected away from the actual problems.
You stepped on the lead. So here's the thing. I watched the whole thing, right? 23 minutes of an interview. Then at the end, hey, I know you're busy, bro. Thanks for your time. Go back to getting bad guys. Not a mention of Epstein the entire interview. The one thing that the whole actual world that's paying attention to this is coming down on them for, and they choose to not talk. It's like, well, it's not in the talking point, so we can't cover it. It was just such a blatant sidestepping of actual current events that need to be discussed by these 2 clowns.
It's an omission. It's a lie of omission.
100%.
Don't bring it up. don't bring it up. It was never lied about, right? Like they don't talk. We didn't talk. Oh, it just didn't come up. We ran out of time. Didn't come up. How fucking weak. And oh, by the way, did you just hear him basically he's going to be impeached for saying the FBI had a hand in an international fucking operation.
Right.
How about that? Oh, the FBI. Oh, give me my medium fucking girl's jacket, everybody, so I can wear it while the FBI fucking help the CIA in an international illegal operation. The FBI is not allowed to fucking do that. Cash.
The FBI, they have their regime
fucking
change
piece of
department
shit.
now, apparently.
Fuck you and your fucking medium chick jacket, your fucking tailored bitch jacket. Go to your get a blazer. Get your fucking blazer, bitch.
Oh, I knew I would get you fired up.
Dude,
I knew I'd get you fired up.
Oh, people fucking set me on fire, man. I came in so happy today. Now we got stood up, and now we're stood up, and we got this shit. Now they don't even talk about Epstein, for fuck's sake.
I'd say I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. That was exactly the response I wanted.
But seriously, like, how these people are nuts, man. Dan, go suck some cock and go fucking beer fest it. Get a Z job, if I gotta ask you what a Z job is, dude, you're not ready for it. Just FYI. But just go get one, man. I think you need a little release, dude. I don't think your wife.
I told you I was gonna bring the thunder today. So there you go.
Dude, seriously. And I brought some too. But what else you got? Do you have any other clips that you wanted to share?
Well, I have something to add, but I think it ties into something you want to cover later.
Yeah, but add it. Let me know what you want, because like I said, you know what we got up, so you let me know which way we want to go, man.
When you get to your third one, your last one, I got something to tag onto that with.
All right, with ladybugs.
Yeah,
all right, that's true. It's the truth. So from Jason, the laws mean nothing unless they want to get you. So remember, just so I have to share this because Mad Dog's a good friend of ours, friend of the show, Mad Dog, right? Got a Spaces with Grumpy Gnome. He's starting to do some merch, some t-shirt merch. And he sent me one that says, the ATF shot my dog on the Golden Shower Power Hour. Oh. And my girlfriend like freaked the fuck. Like, I love my girlfriend. She's just not like us. You know what I mean? Like, we're not normal people. She's wired to have a heart. And she's like, what is that? So I'm like, you haven't heard of Ruby Ridge? So I literally look up Ruby Ridge. So for anyone who doesn't know, the ATF who shot the dog, the mother, the wife, and the baby, and the fucking husband, a guy had a bullshit fucking gun charge, and the court gave him the wrong date to show up.
Yep.
So instead of showing up going, hey, you got the wrong date, they fucking murdered everybody. That's what they decided on their fucking clerical
gun charges.
Because of fucking gun charges that you and I would probably argue that probably shouldn't even exist in the first.
Shout out to Dexter Taylor too.
Shout out to Dexter Taylor doing it legally, 10 years, serving 10 years. He's going to be our Freedom Fest push because Ver's out and Ross is out. If we see Martha Bueno, she works with Ross's mom, Lynn.
Nice.
So Martha and Lynn, hopefully they'll work to we're working on Dexter Taylor though, for sure.
No, I was going to try and pull some clips from Rubio speaking in Munich, but I think you ended up pulling some other stuff that was even more entertaining and making somebody that just made a complete ass of themselves. So I'm down. I did. You know, I'm kind of sick of Rubio because like Rubio's going to run. I don't know what's going to happen with that guy. I don't know. He and JD, I don't know how that's going to work. They're going to have to flip a coin.
There's going to be another implosion. And this is what I think is like, I feel like it's going to be hard just in a numbers sense that there's going to be such an internal disruption during this election, this next one, that they're not going to win. I just don't see that happening. And the way this is running right now, I mean, what are your thoughts in a general sense?
Well,
they do have incompetence on the other side. God, they're so stupid.
What I think is I mean, look, I've been surprised before. At this point, I think that Vance is going to have a hell of a time trying to distance himself from all the negative stuff with Trump, from all the ICE stuff, the regime change stuff, especially. Looks like we are going to be going to war with Iran now. It seems imminent based on the stuff I was reading today. So I think Vance is going to have a really hard time saying he's not Trump 3.0 and I think he's
There's our
going to
boy
have
Derek, by the way.
Was that?
There's our boy Derek.
Oh, what up,
Welcome
Derek?
back, Derek.
No, I
It's
think
like
he's
4
going
weeks
to.
in a row, man. We're gonna be good friends before we know it.
I think he's going to have a
Anyway,
hard
go ahead,
time
man.
distancing himself from Trump for sure, and it's going to leave the door open for a Rubio or someone like that also has some juice, whatever you want to call it, to get in there. I still want to see Massey run. I don't think he's going to, but I don't know who the left has to put up. Honestly, like, is it going to be what Timu Obama, whatever his name is? Is it going to be? I mean, AOC. I mean, I would hope so, because that would be just amazing to watch be obliterated. Rubio or Vance in a debate against her would just be like, I'd grab the popcorn for sure on that. But I really don't know. I'm curious to see who the Libertarian Party puts up. But I just think as far as like the two majors, there's going to be some internal battle, I think, between who's going to get to carry the ticket for the Republicans. And I hope they don't fight so much that it takes away from the actual, general, but it's going to be tough to see. I don't know who the liberals have to put up, or the Democrats have to put up, that's not trying to keep Bernie alive on his dialysis medicine until long enough to try and run again.
What do you mean? What do you mean I got to have this? I don't want to have this anymore. I don't want to be a president. I just want to be a vice president. Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be up?
This is the thing. I don't know how petty or alive Trump will be by the end of it. But if Vance turns on Trump, I could see Trump being so fucking petty at the end and really creating a problem. I don't see Trump going into the sun, like into that sweet, soft night. Like, this is his legacy he needs to protect. So he needs to fucking also like swallow some pride. You know what I mean?
I don't think I don't think MAGA is as much of a movement enough to push an election anymore. I think it's a small.
No, it's not. But if
yeah.
Right, so Vance has to literally shit on them big time. You know what I mean? Like really separate himself, or say it in a way that he can like steer it back, right? Yeah. Without actually upsetting the apple cart. I think that's going to be challenging. Now, that said, I have two presidential candidates from the Democrat side that I'm about to show. Both are just lovely, lovely, intelligent, smart, sophisticated, beautiful, talented. I don't know, gorgeous even. I mean, that might sound sexist to me, but I also think that Lindsey Graham's gorgeous. So, that's okay. We're going to play him later. So I'm going to share the first person. So you even mentioned one. So we're going to share one of the first presidential candidates. And I think this is what's going to happen. I really do. There's going to be that internal problem with the Republicans. And if enough people say, fuck it, I'm just not going to vote, Democrats can win.
Yeah.
But if people decide to vote, if people actually go out and vote, I think that it should stay the course, because it's still fucking once you hear these people talk, you're like, no, I can't.
I think Newsom is probably the best they've got, honestly, as far as like polished political and for being the governor of California. Like, I think that he's got the most realistic shot to make it to the general, but I still think he would get just eaten alive in a debate with somebody who has more than the 3 brain cells he has. I mean, he's such a habitual liar and such a just complete contortionist with the truth that, I mean, no, people still haven't forgotten about the way he handled the fires in California. And now
there's only 20 buildings being built or something.
Yeah. Like, after all the fraud in Minnesota, California's next, and California is worse than Minnesota. I think
the bigger the government, the bigger the fraud, people. You guys, they don't solve problems. They exacerbate everything, all the problems.
Yeah. I think there's going to be enough stuff slowly trickled out, and these investigations going into California are going to stretch the next 2.5, 3 years. When we get to a general, it's still going to be fresh in everybody's mind, because they're just going to keep hitting them.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I think.
And to Derek's point, Shapiro's a great point, but Shapiro's Jewish, man.
He doesn't have the juice. He doesn't have the juice.
Well,
Gavin's got the juice as far as the.
Well, this is just how the culture works, right? Like, yeah. I cannot imagine in today, right? I think Joe Lieberman had a good shot. Like, if Joe Lieberman did it like 12 years ago, whatever, 16 years ago or something like that with Gore, right? Lieberman, when he switched to Republicans, they may have had a shot. Maybe. I just don't see it in this culture environment, whatever that you can call it, whatever you want, but there's just too much static around it, I think, to make a presidential run with it. But anyway, so you ready, man?
I'm ready. Give it to me.
All right. So here's our first lovely presidential candidate to be, I'm sure, AOC. We're gonna ask her about. Let's let the interviewer ask a question. These people were in Munich, by the way, representing us in the worst fucking ways possible.
She's definitely going to make it to the primary, at least. She'll make it to the primary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, she might not get the Iowa vote like the first time, but she might get pushed in after some other demented fuck gets in, for 4 years. So we'll see. Here's AOC and the beautiful question and answer from this. Well, I'm hoping that she's our next statesperson. I really am. I really hope she's our next statesperson. So here we go, sir. Why is that not work? Oh.
Defend Taiwan. If China
Sorry about that.
would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
I mean, I can hear the hamster on the wheel. She's going.
I hear the fucking spinning of the tires is what I hear, not the hamster. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not moving, but the wheel's moving, right?
I mean, the stalling to it's so obviously like, oh shit, I gotta say something. Oh shit, I gotta say something. That it's comical. But then to go back and say, basically your answer is, well, we just hope it doesn't get to that point. After all that stalling, the best you have is, well, we're going to make sure we do everything we can to not get to that point. Like, you might as well just say pass or next.
Right. I ain't got no fucking clue. Next.
That would have been a better answer.
How about this? It's so simple, right? Taiwan, although we see Taiwanese people as a sovereign nation, we do recognize them under the country as United States as a one China policy. Because of that, I'm not going to fucking commit troops to go into war with China. That's what I'm not going to do. But, whatever. Fucking whatever. Like, I know that, and I'm not a congressman.
Well, honestly, like, she had such an opening, too, like, to go against Trump, because she could just say, well, Trump's starting all these wars. Trump's going after all these. I don't want anything to do with any new wars. I mean, that would have been the, like, oh, my God.
But she can't do that because, first of all, they're still with Ukraine. They need Ukraine support to fucking keep that war going because they're in Germany right now. And you think she's going to go against the military-industrial complex? She's going to talk against the people feeding her? Please.
No.
She's such a cuck. She is such a fake piece of shit. Anyway, that's that one. So final thoughts. AOC, I mean, strong candidate, doesn't know how to answer a question. A simple question about, will you commit troops if Taiwan gets invaded by the country, by the way, that fucking we recognize who owns them? Like, hey, when China takes back the country that we recognize as theirs, what are you going to do about it? What kind of stupid fucking like the question itself, it implies this fucking stupid bitch from fucking Munich doesn't know what she's talking about either.
It would have been better if she would have just said, we're not going to do anything.
Yes. Oh, Horton's here. Hortoneers, Scotty.
I think maybe I'm late. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
I'm sorry, I got distracted eating dinner.
We figured you were arguing with Piers Morgan, so we're good.
I am. Sometimes
we always have a good excuse, my friends. The great Scott Horton. Hortoneers assemble, everybody.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? Sorry, I'm late. Yeah, here. Sorry for being so bald.
How was dinner, at least?
How's dinner, Scotty?
It was
you're
pizza.
muted, bud.
It was fine.
Oh, your pizza. Check it out, man.
No, I'm
I
not.
got some pepperoni pizza and I got some grape soda. I brought some grape and I got some beef jerky for later, man. So we're all gonna have a party. So we're having a good time, man.
grape
Welcome.
Mark's
Scott
Mark's
Horton,
rocking the
Libertarian
props
Institute,
today.
the Horton Academy, all of it, man. Scott, what don't you do? Can you just give us a list of the 3 things you don't do, and then you just do everything else, man?
Well, I don't ride motorcycles. I really would like to, but I would also really not like to slam on a motorcycle.
Do you not
So
want
I
to get
decided-
T-boned by a Suburban in Texas either? Because that's what me in Arizona are all about. I don't
I
want to
got
get run over
rear-ended.
by.
I got rear-ended by a Suburban in my little green truck 2 days before September 11th. And
No way.
it's funny
No
because
way.
yeah, it's
Well,
on
I'm
a
glad you're
salvage
with us,
title,
man.
but that was
Ooh.
25 years ago, and I'm still driving it.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Love it. Love it. So we
I have
we
been hit
just-
by
we just-
a Suburban, but I'm glad I was in a truck and not on a motorcycle. I'll tell you that.
Well, I
no
ride
kidding.
motorcycles a lot, so I got to say thanks for the confidence. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, hang on tight, buddy. I'm sure you're doing fine, but not me. I'm a skateboarder, so
wanna
I
ride
like
too.
I like danger and I like going fast and being afraid, but just not that fast and that afraid.
Fair.
Well, you don't want the
Fair
end
point.
of it to happen, right? It's like I don't have a fear of falling. It's like the hitting of the ground part
Yeah,
that's like the problem, right?
I've taken some slams just going skateboard speeds, and that'll be plenty for me. And I guess if I knew if
Yeah.
I had a motorcycle, like at some point I would take a slam. And so I just want some point to not ever come. That's my philosophy. But
Well, I give you props.
Otherwise,
Man. I'm
I do
47
everything.
and I still skateboard at 47. So if I give
Yeah.
you props for still skating.
yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, I still skate.
I love it. So Scott, welcome, man. We just finished AOC opining about what we should do if the country that we recognize that owns them decides to claim that they own them.
Yeah.
So you saw that clip, right? So I thought you could share us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, as far as how unprepared she is, they're talking about running her for president. Imagine this lady being the boss of you. You know what I mean? She's going to decide what we're going to do just starting a few years from now. She's going to be in charge of implementing whatever our Taiwan policy is. Where right now she has to be told by Matt Duss what it is, and then she can't remember, right? Like me trying to teach Joe Jorgensen something or whatever. It's just not going to take, dude. She doesn't care. And she's not interested, and she cannot learn. And so why are you even wasting your time? But in the Democratic Party, they're like, yeah, she's one of our top, so it goes to show they're dire straits. But yeah, I mean, the correct answer there, as far as not from our position, but from hers, is look, we're not saying for sure what we'll do. We don't want to encourage the Taiwanese to declare independence and pick a fight that they can't win. And so we don't want to promise them that we'll come to their defense no matter what. At the same time, we want the Chinese to know that we very much do not want them to reunite with the island by force. And we would be very upset, and our options would be very wide open what we might just do about that if they did. So we'd like to discourage both parties from doing anything. The average reader of antiwar.com can tell you that, right? Or the average just college student, whatever, can tell you. That's the basics of our Taiwan policy is we don't promise to defend Taiwan, and we heavily hint to China that, well, we might just defend them though. So don't you try me kind of thing. That's how it's been since 79. So
I mean, I was saying too, like it seemed like even if she just wanted to go for the political points, she could have just turned it on Trump and said, Trump's starting all these regime change things, Venezuela, Iran. Well, I don't want any new wars. I don't want to get involved in anything. And she would have got the applause break and moved on. But that just deer in the headlights was the worst response she could give.
I love it. Yeah, man. 20 seconds. That's a long time to just stutter and stumble,
Oh, and that room just was quiet. They were just sitting there. It was uncomfortable. Just imagine.
Sometimes when I'm trying to think what to say, I'll sit here and go, oh, and kind of space out and look down as I'm kind of thinking. And And I know that it's kind of an awkward pause, and I'm asking for patience while I think about how to say this. But then, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I better have something good to say after that. You know what I mean? I'm asking for your patience while I figure out how am I going to explain this right. But then it better be interesting when I finally start talking, not him, ha, her, huh. Well, this is a long-standing policy. Well, what's a long-standing policy? You didn't say what the long-standing policy was. What do you mean this is? Oh, that was terrible. But it just goes to show, I mean, I really think it's, you can pick on her, but the point is really they're all like that. All of them are such lightweights on this stuff. And, you know, I haven't seen it yet. Nobody's seen it yet, but I have word that Tucker Carlson barbecued the crap out of Mike Huckabee, who had no answers for anything because of course he didn't. You know,
I pulled some up for that.
They're only good at bluffing. You know, they can't stand up to scrutiny at all.
Totally. We're going to get to that, Jake, with Huck.
Yeah, I just I had a screenshot saved from the kerfuffle, if you will, that I was just going to pull up. But Scott, the only thing that you missed
before we get to the next presidential candidate in that governor we got down there.
I was just going to tell Scott the only thing that he missed is us opening up the show and me getting Mark fired up with the 23-minute interview of Kash Patel on Bongino's show, going a whole 23 minutes in full interview without mentioning Epstein even one time. So I got Mark just off the rails with that one.
Oh, come on. You guys don't feel like the wool has been sufficiently pulled over your eyes there?
Well, Scott, 6 out of the top 10 FBI people have been caught. Not only that, Kash admitted that the FBI had a hand in the Venezuela international fucking kidnapping of Maduro. He literally said it.
They had to come up with some kind of charges,
had a hand.
Right? They had to come up with a legal pretext to indict him. Right.
Yeah.
You know, by the way,
he did get a medium jacket to fit him finally.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously. It like the emperor, right? He is not fit for his job. And all of his courtiers. But look, as long as we're trashing the FBI, how about the kidnapping of the mother of one of the most famous women in America? Right? Someone who you would think would have a lot of pull in whatever her home state is, where, you know, the cops, you know, the local ones, fine. It's a crapshoot whether the local detectives are worth their salt or what. But but you
FBI, don't get it. No, that's Brandon Tatum. Brandon Tatum from Tucson, guys. Brandon Tatum's a fucking genius. He's not a Zionist pig at all. That fucking guy's on top of all of it. No, they'll get it. They'll find her after 3 weeks. Yeah, sure.
Put him on the case. Yeah, but no, like, you know, it isn't just look at the incompetence of the federal police here that they can't figure out. Because, you know, it's ever since the Lindbergh baby, it's the FBI is in charge of kidnappings. They're like always presumably across state lines. And so it's them first when it comes to this kind of thing. And so one, you have just whatever's going on there. They suck. In fact, they have not rescued the lady or found her corpse or figured out who did what. They did a SWAT raid, wrong house, wrong lead, barking up the wrong tree, like whatever they're doing. But then on top of that, the real context of it all is, well, then what do we give up all of our freedom and privacy for this massive surveillance state, the Ring camera regime, and all of the rest of it? Tapping your phone's metadata year in and year out, location data on your phone, so they know whose car you rode in and where you went. And years back in the past, they can check and see any association. Anytime you went to a meeting and other people were there and who they all were and who their association, all of these things. And yet when it's like one of the most high profile crimes that you could imagine, the kidnapping of a helpless old 80-something-year-old mother of one of the most famous TV personalities in the society. And they absolutely, the entire national police force is helpless here. And so all of us, we gave up all of this, not we gave it up. They took it in the name of being our security force. And then what was the trade-off? We got nothing. right?
Well, the Dow's at 50,000. So
Yeah, exactly. Shut up. Haven't you seen the S&P? All the people in the Epstein files are banking right now, even if you're not. So what are you complaining about?
And it's going to get worse, guys, because what's going to happen is, they're using that helicopter to fly low and try to pick up the Bluetooth. They're going to go, no, we need drones in every fucking block to go up and down, picking up any signal they could possibly pick up at any time, all day, 24/7, because God forbid what'll happen pre-crime. All this fucking Minority Report bullshit, man. I am so terrified of that dystopian future.
it's on the way. It's coming.
Yeah, and look, just like when they first put the cameras up all over the roads in the 1990s, they never asked anybody. There was nothing like a referendum anywhere or a law passed under any public debate or, anything. It was just done. They just implemented. As soon as they're cheap enough to implement everywhere, they'll do it. The first time they ever served a warrant with a drone was in Austin. And they sent the drone up the driveway to scout out the house first before the cops raided the house. And there was no new guideline that said you could do it. It's just there wasn't one that said you can't. And so that was it. They just went for it. And then from there, we're all just, Afghan, Pashtuns now under total surveillance. They can fly drones wherever they want. There's essentially no limit on what the government can do to surveil us at this point. The second major time they used a drone in operation just after that warrant here in Austin was they killed the Dallas sniper who killed the cops from the parking garage.
Yeah.
And when they finally had him cornered, they sent a robot. They tied a bomb to the robot and sent the robot over there and detonated the bomb to kill the guy. And there's one there's no law that says that you can do that. They just said, well, that's how we're solving this. And so they're just improvising, and it's a dirty snowball rolling downhill, right? And only, supreme power, right? Like if Dan Patrick and Greg Abbott both agree that we are absolutely rolling this thing back by passing 10 laws to undo what we've done here. Anything short of that, like an absolutely concerted effort by the leaders of it.
Yeah, but
it's
God
never
forbid
going to happen.
Dexter Taylor,
and so
God
it's
forbid
never
Dexter
gonna
Taylor
happen.
legally, right? Dexter Taylor legally assembles firearms, and look what he's doing. 10 years. The police department just gets a tank and a fucking armored vehicle and like new body armor and new basically military equipment, and we can't even arm ourselves anymore.
The more terrifying part to me though is
who are you talking about?
This is
Dexter
the stuff
Taylor.
that we know about.
Dexter Taylor? Scott? Dexter Taylor is the guy who did the ghost gun stuff. He put the guns together. He's got a 10-year. Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
He got 10 years
so-
for making ghost guns. Wow.
Yeah, and it's like
Man,
totally
I'm
legal.
behind
Yeah,
on the
Dexter Taylor.
times.
We'll
I'm
probably talk
sorry.
about him. Yeah, are you coming to Freedom Fest? Are you going to make it this year?
Usually do. Yeah, in Las Vegas, or where is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's in Vegas, July 8th to the 12th. So we'll all be there. So we'll all break bread. We'll have a good time. So
I was just saying of the stuff that Scott's
My hands
talking
are-
about, like all the surveillance stuff. The scary thing to me is like this is just the stuff that we know about. We haven't even seen what Palantir's got in the warehouse yet. We haven't seen what's to come. And we know that they're a decade ahead of whatever's already on the street. And that's the thing that scares me.
that's a perfect segue for this next clip. So let's play Ladybugs. Let's play Mr. Ladybugs. And he's going to tell us about, this is exactly what we're talking about, guys. Listen, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but this scared the shit out of me. But I'll just play it.
I think what his plan is to replace the money of 3-point-something billion with an investment in new technology, rather than just writing you a check, help the IDF. He wants to create a partnership outside of the aid number. I like that idea. The wars of the future are being planned here in Israel, because if you're not one step ahead of the enemy, you suffer. The most clever, creative military forces on the planet are here in Israel because they have to be to survive. So what we're looking at is that Israel is advancing down the road of new weaponry far beyond us, and it would be nice to have a process where we could be partners.
Jesus.
Well, we already helped them test all their weapons on the Palestinians. We pay for every
Right.
bit of that. It'd be
Israel
nice if
are
we
planning
started.
future
look,
wars are
by the
planning
way,
are being planned here in Israel.
I had actually only heard that quote out of context. I mean, right there, it doesn't sound like he's actually what he means to say there. I mean, it's a double entendre, obviously, but it didn't sound like what he meant to say was they're deciding which countries to attack next. He was just saying how to fight. They're the ones on the cutting edge of technology for fighting the next war in the space age, blah, 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 which is a bunch of crap. They get all of their best stuff from us, and we subsidize all the best stuff that they make. So it's Lindsey Graham lying us into certain time anyway.
Yeah, it was what was in the context of why giving them a check for 3.6 billion or whatever a year versus investing or whatever. But just the statement, all the future wars are being planned in Israel is just like, what? How are we not blaming Israel? What?
And look, and their innovations are what? Like their innovations are, look what they did in Gaza. Use a quadricopter to play a recording of a crying baby so that someone will come and try to save the baby, and then they shoot it because they got a shotgun attached to the same quadricopter with the speaker to lure someone in to then murder them. Wow, it's so innovative, dude.
Sick.
You know, otherwise they're just flying American F-16s dropping bombs on people. What's so innovative about that?
And soon to be more from what we hear, right, with Iran.
Well, speaking of Israel, I grabbed this earlier because we were talking about this before Scott got here, but he kind of alluded to it, and I'm curious what he has to say about it. Well, I'll see where to go here in just a second. It seems like Tucker Carlson was detained today in Israel after some sort of interview with Mike Huckabee, and Scott was saying it got heated. So if you can, without giving away anything you're not supposed to, what do you know about this, and what do you know about the interview? Because I'm fascinated with this.
Oh, I don't know that it got heated. I just know that from what I heard, Huckabee didn't do so well. I guess is probably all I can say about that.
That's fair.
I'm really looking forward to watching it. I'm sure it's a riot.
It should be a good time. So let's bring up this other candidate. So we've had AOC before talk about what Taiwan's going to do. We're going to let this person who was almost kidnapped by it, guys. I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's this woman in Michigan. She was almost kidnapped by 12 FBI agents. I don't know if you guys heard this. I mean, 12 FBI agents almost. I'm sorry, Scott. Can I not do it, man? Is it that bad? No. But we have to listen to this because this is who's going to be up for election. Okay, this is who's up for election. Okay,
let it rip.
I guess I would just simply say that I think that Taiwan's independence, as I think Ukraine's independence, is just, and I think that it is it's in the strategic interest of the United States.
On Ukraine, what does victory look like?
No, please. I'd love to hear your answer.
Punt. I don't know.
It is. The two that I am on the panel with are much more steeped in foreign policy than a governor is. But I do think that Ukraine's independence, keeping their land mass, and having the support of all the allies, I think is the goal from my vantage point.
Oh my God,
Ambassador, do a better job.
Let AOC answer. She's the expert on the panel.
Then they went to her. Guys, this is your future, America.
It's really bad, man.
So you vote? Do you vote for intentional, like evil shit that's somewhat competent, although crazy, or do you vote for just stupidity? Like how? This is why I'm out. Noda from here on out, everybody.
Yeah. No, look, they're all like that. I mean, some of them have worse moments on camera or whatever, but John McCain in that same situation would have just bluffed. He didn't have anything. He wouldn't have had anything more substantive to say than that. But it does go to show, right, that like it's really the blessing of the alternative media, right, where there are just so many people out there. I spend way too much time trolling YouTube, especially when I'm trying to quit Twitter. I start trolling YouTube instead or whatever. And I'll see like some expert explainer guy's YouTube channel. He's got 500,000 subscribers, and he's explaining the way things work. And I, agree with it enough to like give him credit for knowing, doing a good job, right? Explaining these things, whatever. He's just some YouTube guy. His name's Joey whatever with whatever channel kind of thing. He comes from, maybe went to college, maybe he didn't, but he's like not someone with wealth and power. But he's like, yeah, I watched one today where the guy was like, let me explain 97 ways that government makes housing unaffordable. And now he's not a libertarian. He's actually like one of these Ezra Klein sort of neoliberal, not leftist, saying that we need to scale back some of these regulations, like Bill Maher ranting about too many regulations about doing your roof in California, like that kind of take.
Yeah.
But it's like it was a pretty sophisticated take on how destructive zoning can be and all the different kind of things. You know what I mean? That kind of deal. Well, that guy is like outclasses Gretchen Whitmer by a million, right? Like she could be just fine ringing up my groceries, right? But to be the boss of me, are you kidding? And one of the worst things, and this isn't said enough about her, but she was, by some measure, I believe, the worst of all of the lockdown governors. And especially in the sense of like where her husband got caught out boating on the lake while she is preventing people from doing anything, like the worst lockdown. And then she was handily reelected after that, which is just and after a hoax kidnapping plot, as you alluded to, where the FBI informants, and by the way, remember the date on that. It was October 2020. So just as they were suppressing Donald Trump's October surprise and gotcha with the laptop material on Hunter Biden, the FBI, National Police Force, under Donald Trump, was framing a bunch of Trump supporters for wanting to kidnap and murder, plotting to kidnap and murder the Democrat lady governor of Michigan. Which and the way they played it on the media, it was all Trump supporters were these guys who were going to do this.
Yeah.
You know how these MAGA guys are.
You mean all three of them?
This murder.
All three of them were Trump supporters. All three of them of the 15.
Yeah, exactly. Who were set up by the other 12. And so, I mean, that just alone is a disgrace. Why is she even on that stage? Because she was reelected. She's in the running to have power, which I don't know if they're going to try to nominate a woman again. But what man do they have to run? Gavin Newsom? When California is in the worst shape it's been since it was conquered by the Spanish?
Speaking of terrible lockdown governors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got nothing to stand on whatsoever. Absolute disgrace. I saw a quote of Barack Obama where he's like, in fact, the way I saw it was introduced was he makes it a point to never trash talk other Democrats in public because he carries so much weight over there. But he said, listen, it's really a problem when people have to somehow find a way to maneuver around an entire massive homeless encampment in the middle of your downtown, right? Like Skid Row was, the way I remember it,
it's like 100,000 people now. It's crazy.
I mean, when I lived in LA, I think Skid Row was like, I'm just guessing, but like, I don't know, 20 minutes west of downtown.
Yeah.
Right? Skid Row was like in south of Koreatown.
Yeah, it was just a couple blocks.
Yeah, it was really small.
Yeah, so it's from Koreatown to downtown, and
everywhere else.
I mean, I went there in the spring of 17? No. I'm sorry. Of 22, I guess, or 23 to record the no, it would have been 23 to record the Waco podcast for the anniversary there. And I went and met with those guys and did that long Waco podcast. And I had lived out there, in like 2009 through 11. And going back out there, it was like, man, it was like the movie Escape from New York, or Escape from LA was the sequel, where it's so the whole place is a prison camp or whatever. But it's just like homeless people everywhere, man. I mean, everywhere. cars creeping down the street because you'll hit somebody. Like there is no definition between the street and the sidewalk and whatever.
Yeah.
It's all just like
I was
free-for-all.
raised there. I left in 2012. I grew up there my whole life, left in 2012 and ended up going to Seattle. So it was like frying pan to the fire. And I got to Seattle right when Chaz and all that shit started. So that was a whole other experience. But the homeless people on the West Coast it's a thing that I don't think until you really experience it, Portland, Seattle, LA, San Francisco, until you really see it, I don't think you can understand. And even then, you don't really fully understand the weight and the depth of what the issue is. But it's a real problem that I don't think. I mean, like you said, if Obama's even calling it out against Newsom, like it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, for real. And it just goes to show, again, like just the absolute dearth of leadership all around in this country. Is just everything. It's like Ukraine or something. Like we just surrendered to corruption. Just like forget it, dude. We don't even. The society at large gave up. Even when the Epstein files come out and really draw this web of corrupt elite power, and all the emails reveal that none of these people are special in any way, right? None of them are actually
they're special in a very special way. They literally are special. They're like, they're fucking special for sure.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, yeah, you look at the way Epstein writes and all that. A lot of them, but even though like the more competent ones they are purely unremarkable, right? They're just regular people. They would work at your same office or at your same store where you work, but there's nothing where I haven't seen anything in there, like whatever some guy teaches at MIT, maybe he's got some talents or whatever, but from the way that they all talk to each other or whatever, there's nothing special. It's sort of like actually during COVID when you had all these celebrities and rich people too, Bill Gates type people, but also all the Hollywood type people. And they're filming themselves from their houses. And you can really see that like very wealthy people, their houses look a lot like yours. Their kitchen is maybe bigger and like a little fancier or whatever, but it's still just a plain old kitchen. And they've got chairs in it, just like your chairs that they got off of Amazon, just like you got yours off of Amazon. Right? And then it just, whatever imagination you had of the discrepancy between the way they live and the way you live, you can see that, no, actually not at all. Like, maybe their cars are a little bit more expensive. Their houses have more rooms or whatever, but essentially they're living in the same world as you. And it's like the Wizard of Oz illusion of the man behind the curtain kind of thing, where like somehow there's this great power back there somewhere that you're still left to imagine. When you actually behold it, it's just a bunch of bumps. Again, like to mix metaphors again with the Emperor Wears No Clothes thing. That like, well, what's so allegedly about y'all anyway? Nothing.
Allegedly pedophilic bomb. Like let's not, we give them some credit. I mean,
the thing is though too,
they're allegedly evil pieces of shit. But.
I agree though that there's not a thinker in any of the bunch, but the optimist in me is like, okay, well, if the message is so dumbed down and the Gretchen Whitmers and the AOCs are the best that we've got and the Gavin Newsoms are the best we have, it would seem like, and again, the optimist side of me, it would seem like somebody like a Massey, even though he's not going to do it, just coming out and just speaking the actual facts, speaking the truth would resonate with people more than ever. But then you take a step back and you realize, oh, well, that'll never happen because the people that are there on purpose to say shit for the mouth breathers. So the mouth breathers will sit there and nod along and play the game. But anybody with any real substance will have the entire funding of campaigns behind them to shut them down. They'll never make it through a primary.
The gatekeeping.
A lot of the time, that's right. Yeah. I mean, the only loophole there is the U.S. House of Representatives is still 435 districts. And it's really hard for the Israel lobby and their friends just to completely control all of those. There is room there for people to essentially, like, I don't know, Margaret Taylor Greene or whatever was, I'm pretty sure was not just like groomed by the local industrial concerns to be their new sock puppet in there, right? Like she got out there AOC is another example. She got out there and knocked on doors and introduced herself and recruited an army.
She
of
did, but
campaign.
she also won some kind of freaking like the voice competition to become the face, right? She did do the work, but Marjorie at least had a job. Didn't she have a construction company? She actually like made something, whereas like AOC was like a bartender who like won like some pretty competition to like, and then they.
But I just mean in both cases,
and she did the work, but still.
Yeah, but I mean, in both cases, they were not chosen by the party leadership that like, okay, you're going to be the next person. They made themselves the next person. Now, in fact, the history of AOC, I actually remember the anecdote there where I don't remember exactly what the vote was. It was one of her first big votes. And it was the kind of thing that would usually you would think be sort of under wraps, but it was just too clumsily done. And it was therefore very covered in the media. And I remember Greenwald specifically commenting on it where Nancy Pelosi took her in the back room and it was just as transparent as can be. She got read the riot act and it said, now look, you can get up here and do all your grandstanding and get no work done and have no power and no influence, and you won't get the good spots on the committees, and I won't listen to you, and you won't ever, you can be your little social media star, but you're just going to get in the rest of our way and make enemies out of the leaders of the party, and you're new here, and so fall in line and do as you're told, and you'll be rewarded. But the way the game is played is Nancy Pelosi's the leader, and you follow. And she clicked her heels and said, yes, ma'am, I understand. And then that was it, right? Like that was it right there. And she never had much substance in the first place to like be some kind of rogue. That was all just persona kind of really in the first place. But the guy that she overthrew, though, the guy that she beat in the primary to take that seat was third in line behind Pelosi, was Pelosi's favorite to be her successor as speaker. So, you know, Cortez was not supposed to do that. You know what I mean? She did do that. Yeah. Anyway, just to answer your point, I'm off on the tangent, but to your point though, it could have been you, presume like it might have been, you know, it could have been, there are a few genuine type people who have run for the House of Representatives and either won or came close. And then it's a huge fight once you're up there, you know, but, I don't know, man. I think Massey is showing. Taylor Greene is another one where even just a member of the House can be really powerful if they are really willing to fight. I mean, one thing, when Ron Paul was up there, he was in a much lonelier position.
Yeah, true.
Of his relationship with the rest of Congress up there. And also he's just such a sweet old country doctor that he didn't want to get up there and get in a fight. You know, like he gave his great speech, neocon, where he names names of the neocons and stuff like that. But that was very rare. He would always say, you know, I disagree with the president's belief or even just the prevailing notion that or whatever, right? Without ever making it personal. It just wasn't his nature to really fight that way, you know, but like Massey, you see what happens. You get a guy like Massey, who's basically Ron Paulian, but then, especially now in his latest incarnation, really willing to scrap. You could see, man, I mean, Donald Trump tried to stop him, and he was like, dude, I'll override your veto, and won on something huge. You know what I mean? Against the president in his first year. And where Massey's just a little old member of the House, and where then they call out all the big Israeli donors to try to stop him, which is going to fail.
For sure. I mean? Yeah. He's still going to win.
Yeah. Now, Ron did have a great cheat in that he had delivered some substantial population of his district, right? So it was like in the Johnson family, all 7 of us vote Paul because he was their obstetrician for every one of those births, you know? So he had a lot of brand loyalty for Ron Paul down there in south of Houston. But
that's what you call grassroots right there.
That's by the way, Scott,
it can be done though.
That barbecue was awesome. Ron Paul's 90th birthday. I was lucky to have paid taken a third mortgage out of my house to go down there. What an event that was. It was awesome, but it was worth it, man. It's such a beautiful place, Lake Jackson. So just kudos to Texas as a whole.
Yeah, wasn't that great? I've been going to those since I think 05 was my first one. I was talking with a friend about that
I think I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I think I'm hooked. If it's an annual thing, I'm gonna have to keep borrowing money.
I'm not sure if they're going to keep doing them now, but back when he was a congressman, he did them on his birthday every August. And in 05, it was actually the day of Hurricane Katrina. So if you guys remember, at least in the media and really in the polls, confidence in W. Bush didn't break until Katrina. And that was in August of 05. So through the entire
flyover thing, right?
year and a half.
The flyover where he looked out the window, right?
The
Looked
flyover
or whatever.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and not only that, but like it's Thursday, it's Friday, it's Saturday, and the helicopters still aren't coming. The trucks still aren't. Nobody's coming. And what, Anderson Cooper's on TV crying his eyes out. Geraldo Rivera's stomping his foot, going, "These people are dying. They were dying." And the national government just wasn't doing a damn thing. And everybody knew. I mean, you couldn't make it up, right? It's perfect out of a movie or something. The Louisiana and Alabama and Arkansas and Texas National Guards were all unavailable because they were all in Iraq and Afghanistan getting killed, killing people, and unavailable to help. You don't
even think about that causality, like that link. Like you don't even think about how causal one removal of a vital piece from one place for the wrong reason ruins even their ability to help for the right reason. It's unbelievable.
Although that time it did. Yeah, I think that time it did. Where it was like, where's the National Guard? Well, they're kind of in Iraq. But look, so what it was, and I remember driving home that night from the barbecue in that storm, in Hurricane Katrina. One of those, tentacles of that storm hit South Texas or, south of Houston there. Lake Jackson and the whole drive up 71, really like the whole drive all the way back to Austin was pouring down ass rain. Like, and I've been in some Texas storms. That was one of them for sure, dude. And the thing is though, but the moral of that story is though, then if the storm hit that day, then that means that confidence in Bush was not broken earlier that day when Ron gave his speech. He was still intact as our great leader, maybe our wisest leader since Abraham Lincoln or Franklin Roosevelt or some giant like that. And so Ron's speech, Dr. Paul's speech, was about how, listen, I know you guys are all Republicans and you want to support our president. He's from our state and he's trying to lead our country best he can or whatever. But and I know that some of you have boys in the service over there right now, but you're wrong. And this whole thing's wrong. And we shouldn't be doing this. And George Bush is lying. And the neoconservatives used to be commies. And now they just serve Israel. And it's Bill Clinton is the leading cause of suicide terrorism in the world before September 11th. George Bush is the leading cause of it now and not Mohammed. And here's how that really works, man, is people really don't like being occupied and shot, and the crowd, they liked it. Now, and the point is, see, this before he ran for president, so he wasn't famous. So the crowd were his constituents from Lake Jackson, right? And from his district. That was who was there. And they all stood there, and essentially the attitude was, well, I'm not sure about all that, but I trust you. And I know that you're honest. I know that you never lie to me. I mean, here he is, a Republican saying anti-war stuff to his Texas congressional district. And his point was like, look, actually, I'm pretty sure you guys aren't going to like this, but I have to tell you, that's my job, is to make sure that you guys know why it is that I do what I do. And I'm not changing on this no matter what you think, but I'll tell you why. And they totally respected him for that. You know what I mean? And he didn't, couch it or hedge it or anything like that. He let them have it, and it's really good, dude. And it's no surprise to me that he took off the way he did when he finally ran for president. That, all he had to do was just get the spotlight on him for 1 minute and people were like, wow,
He's the epitome of talking softly and having a big message, because every time he gives a speech, it's never, grandstanding. It's never this big booming. It's just, here's the straight dope. Here's what you're dealing with. Here's what the problems are. Take it or leave it. Trust me or you don't. And then he ends up being right. I watched him on Tucker I think last week. The man's like 91 years old now, still
90,
sharp,
yeah.
still
Actually sharp as a tack. A real
Yeah.
tack. He's actually sharp as a tack.
Talked about how he's delivered 4,000 babies to Scott's point. That's his voting base for sure. But it's like to sit and listen to him, and all the things that he's called in the last 3 decades are all just, they've all fallen in line. They've all happened. And yet still everybody kind of laughs. And other than our circle, of course, but everybody kind of goes, oh yeah, Ron Paul. It's almost like a punchline. And it's
I don't know. I think Tucker's interview and introduction and everything are a good marker of the respect that he's earned. And really, like, it's hard to ignore. If Ron Paul was right about everything, that means everybody else was wrong. And they have to admit that now, you know?
I agree. I just don't know that they're going to go out and admit it. I think they just try and change the subject. That was my point.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. Tucker may be the champion of climbing down and admitting he was wrong about things before. But I
was on the Giuliani side of that Ron Paul argument. That was me. I was the same as Tucker, stupid fucking idiot, going, yeah, 9/11, fucking blow him up, fucking let's go. That was me. I'll admit it.
Yeah. Fair enough. A lot of people fell for that, not just you.
Yeah, we did. We did.
But look, I mean,
you know what? The Gen Xers, Gen Xers, fucking realized it and fixed it, because that's what we do. Because Gen Xers fucking rule. Amen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, we didn't have this is always the dilemma, right? We way outnumber them, but it takes money to really have the organization necessary to really get anything done. And that's where it all breaks down. You know, like, how does the ADL get away with what they do? Because they have a budget. So they have a staff, they got
police.
lawyers.
Did you hear that guy? Did you hear that guy training the largest number of police force?
Yeah. They're relentless.
The police.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the same guys that lied us into war in Iraq, the Jewish Institute for National Security of America, JINSA. They're the leaders of sending American cops to Israel to get trained by the Shin Bet. This is how we oppress the Palestinians. This is how you're supposed to treat the American people. This is nuts here, man.
It seems though, like,
so go ahead, Jake.
I'm just gonna say, like, to what you're saying, like, everybody fell for it. A lot of people were on that same bandwagon and got tricked into the, we're going to be viewed as liberators thing from Iraq. But it really feels like it's just repeating itself with Iran now. Like, we're back to that. Oh, we're going in to do the right thing, and I don't know how we're getting. Not we, but I mean collectively, there's a lot of people getting wrapped up in that thing again. Like, oh, we're going to go in there and do the right thing, and it's bidding for
good on it. Man.
It's
what I saw a poll. We covered this at antiwar.com that is fewer than 40%, or maybe it was 40. So Republicans support the war. So 10 points less than half, 11 points less than a majority of Republicans support it. And then is something like 70% opposed. And by the way, so like with the Republicans, you have like 35% cop out and say don't know. But that's good enough for me, man. You count your blessings. You know what I mean? Only 40% would say they support it. And then for the independents and the Democrats, they're terribly opposed and super majorities opposed. And so, I mean, there's just the furthest thing from the consensus here. And like, quite frankly, George W. Bush wore those lies out. Don't you give me this WMD crap again. You know what I mean? It's just too much. You don't have to know enough about it to just know that I heard that one before and it's not going to work on me this time kind of attitude,
It feels like they're still going to do it though.
Oh my God. And fentanyl. And then the USDA or the DEA puts out their own fucking maps that show it's like, hey, it's not coming from here. Let's just say it anyway, even though like
I thought we were talking about Iran.
We'll just
You're on the last war, man. You got to keep up with which war we're bombing about here, man. No, and look, I think he probably will bomb Iran at Israel's behest, but he's going to destroy his presidency and he's going to destroy American support for Israel to incredible degrees. I mean, I don't know if they've talked about this or not, but if they really do this now, then essentially they will be gambling that even if America refuses to support Israel ever again after this, that this will be one and last good enough attack, regime change, kill the Ayatollah, and call that a victory big enough that it doesn't matter if they have us anymore, and that Israel can go it alone without us now, because they may have to. American support for Israel is already absolutely plummeting, and especially on the right, and this is in the poll results too. I mean, this is like deep survey data, where American evangelical Christians on the right no longer believe in all this claptrap about the premillennialist rapture and all that. If that was going to happen, it would have happened during the W. Bush years. They were obviously lying about that. That Left Behind series that they sold at Walmart to 50 million people, they were obviously jerking your chain. They didn't mean it. And if it was true, it would have already happened. And so now it's obviously a bunch of crap. And the entire new generation of young evangelical Christians now reject Christian Zionism, or certainly reject the dispensationalist, mandate to support Israel. Well, without the religious mandate to support Israel, what do you got? A good argument? No. You know what I mean? You got America's national interest to protect. That can't be it. And so,
guys, we grew up. Look, once again, we're Gen Xers. Do you guys remember the Schofield Bible ever being mentioned? I never heard of the Schofield Bible really is a thing. It was just, we just called it the Bible, right? But now the Schofield's the one that everyone's using is a Christian Zionist push, right? It's weird how the things are being exposed in that way.
I think that's true. Yes, people just took it for granted that that's the Bible everybody has, and they didn't have a special name for it. But now people know. They're like, oh yeah, well, who did put that writing in the margin anyway? I saw people talking about that on the TikTok or what, something. So Dan Rather was never going to bring that up, but it did get brought up, in this age of the internet and everything. So yeah, I think confidence in Israel is just completely broken. In the overall approval ratings, it's like a 50-point swing from whatever it was, 60 something percent support to or no, I forgot what the number was, but it was some huge double-digit swing in support from approval to disapproval for Israel across the board, and especially among the young. For the baby boomers, they're too old to adjust, but even for the Gen Xers and lower, it's no way. And I mean, seriously, because did they really think that just through public relations that they could just make what they did to the Palestinians over the last 2 years go away? That somehow we're going to forget all those images of dead kids that we've seen? I've seen a lot of pictures of dead kids, man, a lot.
Yeah.
And
I've never seen
I don't like Israel.
I've never seen such bad PR where they just don't pivot. Don't people they're literally trying the same shit they've tried since 1918. It doesn't fucking work anymore in the age of exposure. How are they? Because they're smart. Look, these people are industrious and smart. I'm talking about the nation state and the nation state of Israel, whatever, and Bibi and all these people. How are they not pivoting? No, they're trying to really force that square peg in that round hole, and that's the friction. They're begging us to look, and then we look and they go, you're not seeing what we're telling you to see.
Yep. Yeah, and I think their goose is cooked, man. Yeah, look, and in a way, I think there are, parts of the Zionist movement, and including the Prime Minister himself, Netanyahu, who they don't really mind the anti-Semitism so much. I mean, they would rather keep everybody loyal and friendly. But then again, if people are going to turn on Israel, well, that's okay too, because that's a huge part of their entire narrative is, well, of course, as all governments, they claim to be the security force and that the people would be in danger if it wasn't for them there to protect them. And so, especially over there in Israel, there's a great documentary about this called Defamation that I highly urge people to watch. It's made by an Israeli Jew who goes out in search of anti-Semitism, and he basically can't find any anywhere. The worst anti-Semite in the whole movie is his own grandma. And I wouldn't even quote what she said. It's terrible. Hell, I went off on that tangent. What was I going to say about defamation?
The documentary?
Yeah, it's such a great documentary.
About how, good.
No, you go ahead.
I was just trying to jerk your memory or to, jar your memory about.
I was just gonna say though that there's very few things that I would like to
jar
see.
my memory. You were.
What'd you say? I was
Too
saying
late.
right before that we were talking about they're doing it the old fashioned way. They're not
I
they
know.
haven't changed the
Oh,
stripes. They haven't,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. In the movie Defamation, it's made by an Israeli Jew who goes out in search of anti-Semitism and he can't find it. That's what I was saying. But then one of the things he does is at the beginning, he explains about the internal public relations inside the state of Israel. And like, if you think about that great clip from a V for Vendetta, where Big Brother is ranting to his secret police guys, I want the people to remember why they need us, right? We're the security force. Without us, they're in peril, right? Go out there and make them afraid. And then, so that's the same thing here, where they are told, the civilian population of Israel are told constantly that everyone in the world hates them and wants to kill them. That essentially all non-Jews in the world only have one purpose in life, and that is to commit another Holocaust at their first opportunity. And that's the first thing they think about when they wake up in the morning. It's what they think about when they're eating their breakfast and brushing their teeth and driving to work. That's all they want to do is kill you. Aren't you glad I'm here to protect you? And they inundate them with that. Show of this, show of that, show of this all day long. Everyone on earth who's not a Jew hates all Jews and is right now in the process of trying to kill every last Jew. And so that's what kind of danger you're in. And that's why you need us. And that's why you, young Jewish kid in Brooklyn, or young Jewish kid in Paris, or young Jewish kid in wherever, that's right. They hate you. All right. You should run. Come to Israel where you can be safe. In fact, where you can be the bully. You will be the overlord instead of being afraid. And so they love to encourage anti-Semitism in that double-edged kind of a way. On one hand, they demand total fealty, but then if you won't give it, they would prefer to turn you into a real hater, and in order to drum up that kind of sentiment. And I'll give you one real horrible example of this. Was in one of the massacres in France. And it was either the Eagles of Death Metal concert or the Nice truck attack. Or no. It was the one. I think this is the same day as the Eagles of Death Metal thing. If I remember it right, they also attacked a Jewish grocery store, like a kosher grocery store, and killed Jews there. And then Netanyahu came to France and he says, that's right, French Jews. You're not French. You're Jews. And you'll never be French. And the French don't want you, and you don't fit in here, and you don't want to really be like them. You need to come home to Israel. When, of course, Israel is brand new. They're not Israeli diaspora. They're French Jews. And that was their response was, no, what the hell are you talking about? Of course we're French. Our families have been here for a century or more, whatever it was. Of course we're Frenchmen. But he didn't think twice about even potentially putting them in jeopardy, making them seem like aliens in their own country, like they are against their other countrymen who are Gentiles, right? Just because they're Jewish. But Netanyahu doesn't care if that's putting them in jeopardy. That's good for him. That's good for them to make Aliyah and move to Israel, which is
that's
what
that 9/11 quote, right? The best thing it ever could have. Now the Americans feel the pain or something. Whatever it was after 9/11.
There's a couple like that. Yeah, one of them was, yes, we are benefiting from the attack on the Twin Towers and the American struggle in Iraq. That was what he said. That's in Haaretz. And his point being there, right? What do you mean? We are benefiting not from the war in Iraq, not from the toppling of Saddam Hussein, but from American Shiites getting blown up there is what he's talking about. The difficulty of helping the Shiites win the civil war against the Sunnis, right? The struggle that America's having, that's what's benefiting Israel. What did he mean by that? Like, the most obvious answer is, right, is because it makes us hate and fear Muslims, which is good for him because that's who he's killing and stealing property from. And if he can conflate our enemies with his enemies, then perfect. And so, yeah, the more that you suffer and we can direct your suffering to our benefit, the better it is for us. You can quote me on that, newspaper man.
Oh, and by the way, just the 1,200 day. Yes, it was savage, but how many were Israeli firing on the crowds and whatnot? Just to be clear.
Yeah, it was.
I have a question, Scott, if I may. I don't want to feign. I want to feign my ignorance. I've heard this, that the IDF has not sent a soldier to assist in any of the terror wars that we fought. Hasn't assisted in providing hospitalization, land, like them to be removed there or whatever, retreat there or something like that. Is that true, or is that rumor? Is that like a falsehood?
That's completely false.
Okay.
I'll have you know that Israeli spies helped train the torturers at Abu Ghraib prison. And they helped stab George W. Bush in the back and make a side deal with the Kurds to get all the oil out of there, since they couldn't get their pipeline from Kirkuk and Mosul.
So, yeah, by deceit thou shalt do war. So yeah, so they don't help. Got it.
That's right.
So the soldiers don't help. They're not on the front lines.
Yeah, they had a torture device at
Iraq,
Abu Ghraib called the Palestinian chair, and that was where it was built in a horrifically awkward position, so that when you tie a guy to it, it breaks his bones or causes incredible torture and strain. And they didn't name it that because that's a Palestinian invention that they use on people. That's what the Israelis use against the Palestinians, who are guilty of the crime of living on land that the Israelis wish to steal. That's it. That's why they hate the Palestinians so much. It's not because the Palestinians are Muslims or because they are terrorists or barbarians or anything. It's that they are private property owners and the Israelis are thieves and murderers. So what they do is they murder people so they can steal their land. That's all it is. And they, when I was a kid, they would say, and I like this for propaganda, you got to admit, talking about public relations and all that, is they wouldn't say, they would say this too, but on top of the poor Israelis are the victims of the terrorists. The other side of the story would be that, both sides claim that God gave the land to them. And so it's like this intractable situation where they're both claiming this kind of ridiculous religious authority that they believe in, but the other side obviously doesn't and cannot be convinced by. And so it's like this ridiculous thing. It's not even really worth learning much about or caring about, because both sides are totally irrationally wrong, and so screw it, or something like that, right? But then the reality is that the Palestinians don't claim God gave them that land. The Palestinians claim that their grandfather gave them that land by way of their father, right? That's where they got the land from. It's private property. It's just the same as natural property rights as possessed by any person anywhere in the world, as understood since, at least the last 300 or 400 years in the West. The way that would work. And it's the Israelis who say, no, God gave us this land. So it's, property rights being supposedly superseded by these supernatural property rights. So that's why someone from Poland and Lithuania and Germany and Russia can come, and Ukraine can come and move to Israel and claim somehow that they have any right to this property whatsoever, when on the face of it, it's absolutely preposterous that they ever could. 3,000 years removed from Israel and all
they
that.
Licked it, Scott. They licked the rock 3,000 years ago. It was theirs. They own it. They licked it a long time ago.
I mean, if you can imagine,
while that's happening in Gaza, look at the West Bank. No one's not a peep about the West Bank that's literally being stolen as Christians are being murdered, Palestinians are being murdered, they're being displaced, and they're like, yeah, we'll buy your home from you. What are you going to do? Either get the shit beat out of you over and over and over again with no help, or sell your pennies on the dollar and get the fuck out. I don't know. What would you do? Like, that's the Daryl Cooper question. What would you do? Always, right?
And they make them demolish their own house, because if they won't, then the Israelis demolish it and then bill them thousands of dollars for the destruction of their own home.
Jesus.
So they're forced to do it to their own house.
Diabolical.
Dude, there was one years ago, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe or something, where they bulldozed an ancient cemetery in East Jerusalem that was like I believe 1,000 years old, you know, like technically ancient cemetery, maybe more than that. And they bulldozed the whole thing. And then they built this giant, like ultra modern, huge, like front lawn, super concrete Holocaust Memorial Remembrance Museum of tolerance and victimhood. And this giant monument that they built to themselves on top of the Palestinians' graveyard. And it's just, yeah, they got no regard at all. It reminds me of like learning about some of the Indian tribes where they just called themselves the human beings and everybody else was whatever devils, or like the Chinese, like we're the people and everybody else are the foreign dogs. Like, that's how it is, dude. That's how absolutely chauvinist they are. They're so full of themselves. It's completely ridiculous and completely unwarranted.
And it's so funny, like none of the Jewish people, I grew up like 20% Jewish population in my neighborhood and school and everything. Those aren't the Jewish people I knew. The Jewish people I knew were self-deprecating and funny and humorous and enjoyable. And I hung out with all of them. We're all friends. These are not like the Jewish people. This is whatever this thing, Eastern European, West, whatever that European thing is, the Zion, whatever that Zionist thing is. It's not Jewish.
It's the Stanford prison experiment. It's the Stanford prison experiment, man. You give people power and they'll abuse it. You know, you got to have like some high virtue to put your sword down instead of going ahead and taking what you would.
Well, that's why before you got your memory jarred, that was awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
No, I mean, there's few things that I would like to see more than America to completely lose their support of Israel and for it to completely just go to the shitter. And I don't want it to be because of bombing another country. I don't want that to be the trade-off, but I'm almost at like whatever it takes to make that happen, because I think that if we can just get over that hump, like you said, we're already trending that way. If we can get over that hump to where the next couple generations don't buy into this stuff, I think we're in a much better place.
That's right. Let them suck up to Russia, dude. They've always been hedging their bets against us anyway. Fine.
Go why they wanted communism. They thought communism was going to win. Yeah, they thought communism was going to win. That was the whole secrets that they were trading anyway. They were hedging their bets the entire freaking time. They actually did not think that they thought communism would win out. They actually believed that.
And they're still hedging their bets there. In fact, that was one of the things, was it in the Epstein files where they were talking about recruiting thousands of Russians to convert to Judaism and move to Israel?
Yeah.
You don't have to even be real Jews. Just don't be Muslim and don't be Christian.
Just wannabes.
You can move here. Yeah.
Do you not remember how exclusive, like this is once again, I just remember the culture of the Jewish people growing up and how beautiful it was. Like my mom's boss was a Jewish owner of a catering company in actually, by the way, they catered on Trump's Princess, that Khashoggi boat. No shit. I have a napkin with the Trump princess on it. Anyway, but long story, like I just remember that. And you look at the people who are doing this, you're like, that's not the mentality of these people that I grew up with. They're just not the same people. I don't understand it. And it's really dissonant for me that they're conflating them and making us look at them as all the same when we clearly can bifurcate the two.
Yeah, of course. You know, there's a great Louis C.K. joke about that where he needs produce, but there's a black woman in front of whatever vegetable he needs. So he's going to like wait way over here rather than try to like be rude and reach around her or any kind of thing like that, cause a trouble or whatever. And then I forgot exactly how he says it. It's something like, if it was a Jew, he'd just like push him out of the way and just do whatever he wants. Like, and then he goes, it's funny though, because then we hear from the Palestinians and they're like, no, help us. The Jews are killing us. And we're like, the Jews are killing you? Like, no way, dude. Fucking, like, you just push one down. Right?
What the hell are you talking about? How the hell can we be hurting you guys? This is the worst ever.
They get verklempt in New York.
Have you considered just fighting back? Surely you'll win. You know.
Well, you have all the cutting edge technology, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is just shove them. They'll fall down. It's the big deal.
So Scott, it's been such a pleasure. Jake, this is the first time you got to speak with Scott. Scott, it's been an honor and pleasure. What I love is like you go on shows with 1 million subscribers, 2 million, you go on Peers and everything, and we're sitting here chatting on a Wednesday night. So I'm just grateful and thankful that you just care about the message so much that we're doing this and you jumped on. So I want to thank you. Jake, if you have any other questions before Scott calls it a day, I'm just thankful for the time. And, you know, if you had anything you wanted to share just as a first time talker with Scott or anything.
No, just to echo that. Obviously, we're grateful for the time. I'm glad you were able to pop on. I always love hearing what you have to say. I'm halfway through one of your books right now, and I'm just keep pushing through it. There's always just so much information to digest, and you're always spot on. And the way you hit your takes is it's original, and I appreciate it. So I follow you as much as possible, and I'm really grateful for the time for you to come on and spend with us.
Cool. Well, thanks very much, guys. You're way too polite. And sorry I was late, dude. I did get caught up watching old South Park and eating dinner by now.
Nope.
That's right. You happy skateboard still, so we're good.
That's
no
good,
worries
yeah.
at all. Can you please plug all the stuff you do, like especially the new Horton Academy and everything, and get the name because I don't want to butcher it. I'd just love for you to share all this stuff because we're just honored and grateful. And I know we'll talk again, and hopefully we'll see you at Freedom Fest. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah. Yeah, I always go to Freedom Fest. I mean, unless something comes up, I should be there. Yeah, so look, the new project is the Scott Horton Academy of Foreign Policy and Freedom. It's like Tom Wood's Liberty Classroom. He helped me set it up. And it's the point of it is to give you like a deep education on all this anti-war stuff so that everybody, you know, as Tom Wood says, is Scott Horton slowed down so that you all can catch up. And so we'll all be on the same page with essentially a full education and a full sort of debunking of American foreign policy over the last couple of generations and explanation of how it got to be this way, and which amounts to proof that it didn't have to be this way and it doesn't have to be this way going forward. And so, you know, there are more and more people all the time are going, hey, this sounds right to me. Like I'm picking up on this, but then they're way behind and they need to catch up. So that's the purpose of the Academy, is to get everybody good and educated on it all. And that's at scotthortonacademy.com. And I've gotten nothing but really great feedback about it, you know, ever since we've launched there. And it's me and a bunch of other really great experts. You can find out all about it at scotthortonacademy.com. And then otherwise, just stop by my Twitter account, actually on x.com/Scott Horton Show. And I got all my links there in the bio to the Academy, the Institute, antiwar.com. I got 2 shows, the Scott Horton Show. I also host a show called Provoked with Daryl Cooper. And then I got links to my books, including Provoked on Ukraine, Enough Already on the Terror War, and Fool's Errand on Afghanistan. And so anyway, you can find all that stuff at just x.com/Scott Horton Show.
Thanks very much.
Awesome.
We appreciate it.
Thank you again.
Absolutely.
Anyway, everyone, guys, Scott, stick around. We got a little closure. We play this little closeout thing, but we just want to chat with you after on the other side of this. Everyone, thank you again for joining us another If by Whiskey. This was a fun one, Jake. I had a blast. Scott, just any time is just, we're grateful for it. So thank you again. Oh, sure. Jake, any closing remarks before we call it?
Hit it.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Wednesday night. This has been If by Whiskey, and we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Subscribe to If by Whiskey. Fuck Liberty Lockdown. Subscribe to this show.
No, come on!